Hello, this is Vitualis the Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. So somehow I made it to the final round of the Team Australia 2022 Australia Day tournament. For those of you who aren't Australians, Australia Day is on January 26. So by this point, I'm making this recording at the end of August. It's been pretty much 8 months since then. Rounds 1 and 2 took quite a long time to complete, and that sort of makes sense as people have up to 3 days to make a move, and I think there were about 100 contestants or so at the beginning. Now, round 3, the final round, there are 5 contestants left, of which I am one of them, and I think I've got a better than average chance of coming in the top 3. And if that's the case, it means I'll win a virtual medal, and I'm sort of really excited at the possibility. Now, with 4 other contestants, it means that there are up to 8 matches that I will have to play. So against each contestant, I play 1 game as white and 1 game as black. It'll be 8 matches, assuming nobody withdraws or sort of abandons matches at this late stage. Now, in this first match, I played against Knight beats all. Knight's a pretty good piece. Let's have a quick look at the review first. And as you can see, a pretty wild game, not super accurate, but also means that it is going to be absolutely plenty of fun. All right, so I had the white pieces in this match, and as usual, I play e4, and my opponent played c5. So very principled move of the Sicilian. Now, previously against the Sicilian, I would play sort of the Grand Prix attack, but recently I've decided to try something a little bit spicier. So a d4 immediately, the beginning of the Smith-Morra Gambit. Now, this was pretty much a pretty big risk, as I've not actually had very good success with the Smith-Morra Gambit. But I thought, why not try it in a tournament? And as this was my first match of this round, I hadn't quite gotten to the point where I thought, if I lose, it might be a problem. Now, opponent captures, and now c3. They take, I capture back with knight. So this is the Smith-Morra Gambit accepted. And the idea is I potentially trade a pawn, but get more rapid development. They play g6. I develop my other knight. And one of the things is because I'm completely unfamiliar here, and the idea is to really pull the Sicilian player out of their comfort zone, we're now pretty much just playing chess. So neither of us are necessarily playing very accurately. They sort of fianchetto their bishop. That's fine. I develop bishop to c4. They push another knight, and here I play queen b3. And I know that this is one of the sort of ideas of the Smith-Morra Gambit, in that you can sort of line up the light square bishop and the queen into a battery, immediately facing off against f7, putting a lot of pressure down that diagonal, potentially pretty powerful. Now, the opponent sort of freaks out a little bit and plays sort of knight h6, which I think actually is the best move. And here I make a mistake. I thought I would bring an extra attacker onto that pawn, but that doesn't work because they can now short castles, bringing yet another defender. In fact, the best move here, I believe, is bishop captures, so go aggressive. They'll have to take. And then you've got that attack. And with check, forces the king. So the opponent loses the right to castle. The king's side is damaged. Very good for us. Now, why didn't I make that move? And I did think about just taking that knight, but I think I actually got cold feet and I got a bit skittish. I thought, oh, gee, potentially high stakes game, play a little bit more conservatively. And in fact, that was a mistake to do so. As you can see, I actually give up quite a lot of my advantage back to black. If you're going to go aggro, you have to keep up the aggression. The opponent's short castles, which is a good move. I short castles. I think maybe they're thinking about fianchettoing their other bishop. Now that was another mistake because that now means there's an attack on that rook that is unavoidable. my opponent counterattacks with their bishop on my rook. And again, I just got a bit skittish. I thought, I don't want to lose material, and I opted to block with the knight. But that's a mistake. Because they can now just trade and, potentially, they get out of that. They basically get, what am I doing? They get out of that attack. The best move would have been to straight up take. They can capture back, but then I can take, and, they can't actually capture my bishop, and I am a full piece up. So that was, being too conservative, being skittish, and that was a mistake. So they take back, they push the pawn, attacking my queen. I'm forced to push back, and of course the rook gets off the back rank, and I no longer have the attack. So that was a missed opportunity. I developed my other bishop. They developed their knight, defending the pawn, and here I decided to push my f pawn forward. And here you will notice that we both sort of make some not so great moves. Pretty good move there. So basically have to trade that off. I'll keep pushing my f pawn. So that was a mistake, ceding quite a lot of advantage to my opponent now. They capture. I capture back. And here, this was a mistake. So there's a hole in my opponent's kingside defense. Didn't realize it was quite so bad, I have to admit. I did think that getting my queen over this side would probably end up being good, with potential sort of discovered attack. I thought maybe I could trade their bishop for my knight with check. However, they slide their king out of the way, which was a good move. And you can sort of understand why Stockfish thought moving the knight to attack the bishop was the better move. Here, I thought I was very, very clever. Queen h4, and sort of my logic here was that attack. Then potentially I would have a checkmating threat. So I could take. They would capture back. I could then, it's not here. I would then be able to take. I'll take two pieces. However, after I made the move, I saw that they had e6 attacking the bishop, opening up sort of the defense of the bishop with their queen, and I am in some serious trouble. Basically, I saw if they made that move, I've basically just lost a piece. I don't think I've got very much compensation. So I hoped and wished they wouldn't see it, and luckily for me, they didn't. So they played knight to attack, and I thought, that's great for me. I can take that, at least I can take that knight. It means I don't lose any pieces. They capture, bring my queen back. So two pieces now staring at the f7 pawn. They sort of give a check. That's fine. I can move my king to h1, which is perfectly safe in this position. They bring the queen. Yeah, that makes sense to offer a bit of a defense. My idea here is I'm just going to take because, they actually can't take back, can they? And now they, decide to move their rook. And I thought, there's possibilities here. Bring my bishop back. Now, Stockfish doesn't think that was the best move. He reckons moving all the way back here, and you'll notice I sort of get a little bit of advantage back, and, all this sort of complicated attacks, around each other's kings. And now my opponent makes a final error. Queen to f6. Can you see why that's a blunder? So you can see that's a blunder. Why is that a blunder? Who is defending the back rank? No one. So it's never too late to hang back rank mate. So queen to e8, and here my opponent actually resigned because they now cannot stop checkmate. They could block, take, mate. So my opponent must have sort of slapped their forehead, I think, missing sort of that back rank mate. Good for me, good game, GG. I win my first match of the final round of this tournament. The big takeaway from this game is to always keep an eye out for your back rank. It's never too late to hang back rank mate. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.